Now let's learn about theorem 7.4, side congruency rule. What does it say? If three sides of one triangle are equal to the three sides of another triangle, then the two triangles are congruent. Now if you take this PQR triangle and triangle ABC, in which PQ is equal to AB and side QR is equal to side BC and side PR is equal to side AC equal to 4 centimeter, then you can say that these two triangles are congruent to each other. So what we'll do, we have drawn a hypotenuse, we have drawn a right angle triangle in which 3 centimeter is one side, 4 centimeters is another side, and 5 centimeter is the hypotenuse, right? So now we have to prove that these two triangles are congruent to each other. So how will we do this? In triangle PQR and triangle ABC, whatever information is given, we will write that down. PQ is the hypotenuse is equal to AB, comma QR equal to BC equal to 3 centimeter and PR equal to AC equal to 4 centimeter. Therefore, we can say that triangle PQR is congruent to triangle ABC by side congruency rule. Okay. Let's learn about theorem 7.5, RHS congruency rule. What is RHS full form? Right angle hypotenuse side congruency rule. What does it say? If in two right angle triangles the hypotenuse and one side of one triangle are equal to the hypotenuse and one side of the other triangle, then the two triangles are congruent, right? That means in this, any one hypotenuse and right angle should be equal. Then you can say that the two triangles are congruent to each other. Okay. Now, for example, if we take example of these two triangles PAQ and PBQ, here what information is given? AP equal to BP. This is given. Okay. And AQ equal to BQ. This is also given. And PQ is common, right, to both these triangles, right? PQ is common. Now you can say that triangle PAQ is congruent to triangle PBQ. You can say this by side congruency rule. Okay. Now you can say that angle APQ is equal to angle BPQ. Right? This angle is equal to this angle by corresponding parts of congruent triangles. Right? We have proved these two triangles PAQ and PBQ are congruent. So the angle made by APQ and BPQ are corresponding parts of this triangle. So you can say that they are equal. Now let us consider triangle PAC and triangle PBC. In this AP is equal to BP. This is given. Right? Now angle APC is equal to angle BPC. Right? This APC is equal to BPC. We have proved this over here. Right? APQ is equal to BPQ. Right? So this is proved above. Now here PC is common. Okay. Now triangle PAC is congruent to triangle PBC. This we have proved by side angle side rule, right? One included angle and two sides are common. So now we can say that AC equal to BC. We can say this by corresponding parts of congruent triangles, right? Now angle ACP equal to angle BCP, right? How? Angle ACP will be equal to angle BCP, right? They are also corresponding parts of congruent triangles, since PAC is congruent to PBC, right? So we can write this down, corresponding parts of congruent triangles, right? Now we know that angle ACP plus angle BCP equal to 180 degrees, right? They are linear pair of triangles. If you look at these two triangles, these two are linear pair of angles. So you can write this as angle ACP plus angle BCP equal to 180 degrees, right? You have to write the reason for this. These are linear pair of angles. Now here this BCP is equal to ACP, so we can replace BCP by angle ACP. This will remain as it is, so this is 2 times of angle ACP equal to 180 degrees. Therefore when we solve this, we will get the value of ACP as 90 degrees, right? So now with this you can conclude that PQ, this PQ is perpendicular bisector of AB. Okay, thus we have proved this. You can write this as number 2, and you can name this as number 1, right? So now you can write that from equation number 1 and 2 we can conclude that PQ is the perpendicular bisector of AB. Okay, we have proved this now. Now let's solve exercise 7.3. Two sides AB and BC and median AM of one triangle ABC are respectively equal to sides PQ and QR and median PN of triangle PQR, and we have to show that ABM triangle is congruent to PQN, and we have to show ABC is congruent to PQR. There are 2 questions asked in this sum number 3, right? Now what all information is given, we first will make a note of it. Given that BC equal to QR. So if we add half on both sides of BC and QR, let's see what is the result. Half of QR. You remember Euclid's axioms in chapter 5 we have done. We are applying the same over here. Okay. So now half of BC. Half of BC is what? It is BM. Right? BM is half of BC. Why we can say that? Because AM are medians and PN is also a median. So we can write this as BM equal to QN, and the reason for this is AM and PN are medians. Right? Now if you look at triangle ABM and triangle PQN, we know that AB equal to PQ. This is given, right? And one more information is given, that is this AM is equal to PN, right? This information is also given. Now BM equal to QN. This we have proved above. So we will make a note of it. Proved above. Hence, we can say that triangle ABM is congruent to triangle PQN. We can say this by side congruency rule, right? Now we will try to prove the second part of the question. The first part is proved. What is the second question? We have to prove that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR, right? So first, in triangle ABM and triangle PQN are congruent. This is proved above. So we'll write it. Proved above. Okay. Angle B is equal to angle Q. We can say this because of congruent parts of congruent triangles. Right? Now in triangle ABC and triangle PQR, AB is equal to PQ. This is given, right? This AB dimension is equal to PQ is given, right? And angle B is equal to angle Q. This is proved over here. So you will write it proved above. Okay. Now BC is equal to QR. This is also given, right? So now we can say that triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. We can say this by side angle side congruency rule. Okay. Now let's prove theorem 7.6. What does it say? If two sides of a triangle are unequal, the angle opposite to the longer side is larger, or you can say greater. So how will we solve this? First, we will draw a line segment AB. Here I have drawn it for you, AB. Now with A as center, and any radius. Draw an arc and mark different points. Say you can name this P, Q, R, S, T on it. Okay. Now what you'll do, join each of these points with A. As well as with B, right? You have to join them. Now when we join them, we observe that when we move from P to T, angle A becomes larger and larger. And have you observed what happens to the opposite side of this? For example, if you take this TA line, what will happen to TB? This will also continuously increase. So we can write that angle TAB greater than angle SAB greater than angle RAB greater than angle QAB greater than angle PAB, right? And we can say that the side TB is greater than side SB is greater than side RB is greater than side QB and is greater than side PB, right? As the angle is increasing, the side is also increasing, right? Now let us draw any triangle with all angles unequal to each other. That means the dimensions of all the angles will be different. After that, measure the lengths of the sides, right? Let's draw it. Now observe that the side opposite to the largest angle is the longest, right? You can see this. The largest angle's side, opposite side, is the longest, right? If you measure this and this, and if you compare with AC, then AC is the longest side. Okay, so Here we can write down according to the figure. Angle B is the largest angle and AC is the longest side, right? So we have proved that the angle which is the largest and the opposite side to it is the longest side, right? Now let's prove theorem 7.8. What does it say? The sum of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the third side. What does this mean? That if you add AD and AC, then the sum of them will be greater than this side AB, right? We have to prove this. How will we solve it? In triangle DAC, AD is equal to AC. This information is given, right? Now angle ADC is equal to angle ACD. How can we say this? Because angles opposite to equal sides, these two sides are equal, so the opposite angles will be equal. Now angle ADC, this ADC is exterior angle for triangle ABD. For this ABD triangle, ADC is exterior angle. So angle ADC is greater than angle ABD, right? ADC is greater than ABD because it is the exterior angle. And you can say that ACD is greater than angle ABD. Now instead of this ADC, we are writing ACD, right? And this is same. This will remain same. So you can say that AB is greater than AC, right? AB will be greater than AC. Why we can say that? Because side opposite to larger angle in triangle ABC. We have just proved that theorem, so we are using it over here. So we can say that AB is greater than AD. How we can say that? AC is equal to AD. Here it is given. So because AD is equal to AC, right? Now let's solve question number 4. Look at this quadrilateral in which AB and CD are parallel sides of a quadrilateral. AB is the shortest distance and DC is the longest side of this quadrilateral ABCD. Here we have to show that angle A is greater than angle C and angle B is greater than angle D. So for solving this, what we'll have to do, we will join this A and C, right? We will name these angles as 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. So now if we take this triangle ABC, BC angle is greater than AB. Why we can say this? Because of AB is the shortest side of the quadrilateral ABCD. Now you can say that hence angle 1 is greater than angle 3, because in a triangle longer side has greater angle opposite to it. We have just proved in that theorem. Similarly, in triangle ADC, CD is greater than AD, right? How we can say this? Because of CD is the longest side of the quadrilateral ABCD. Okay. Now you can say that hence angle 2 is greater than angle 4. Okay. Now name this as equation 1 and this as equation 2. Now you can say that from 1 and 2, angle 1 plus angle 2 is greater than angle 3 plus angle 4, right? So we have proved that angle 1 plus 2, what is it? It is angle A. It is greater than angle 3 plus 4. What is angle 3 plus 4? It is angle C. So we have proved this. Now we have to prove the second part of the question, right? We have to prove that B angle is greater than angle D. So we'll have to draw one figure. Now in this same quadrilateral ABCD, we will join point B and D. So now in this triangle ABD, we will have AD will be greater than AB, right? AD will be greater than AB. Why we can say that? Because AB is the shorter side. AB is the shortest side. Now you can say that angle phi it will be greater than angle 7. What is the reason behind it? Because in a triangle longer side has greater angle, right? You all know that. We have just proved in the earlier theorem. Now in triangle BDC, CD will be greater than BC, right? Let us name this as equation 3. Let us name this equation as 4. And now since CD is greater than BC, you can say that angle 6 is greater than angle greater than angle 8. So we will make a mention of it. Angle 6 is greater than angle 8, right? And we have to write the reason also why CD is greater than BC, because CD is the longest side, right? Now how angle 6 is greater than 8? Because in a triangle you know that the longer side has a greater angle opposite to it, right? This is the longer side and it has a greater angle opposite to it. And let us name this as equation 5. Now from equation 4 and 5 we have angle 5 plus angle 6 is greater than angle 7 plus angle 8. So what is 5 plus 6? Their angle B. And what is 7 plus 8? Their angle D. So we have proved that angle B is greater than angle D, right? Now let us solve last sum, 6 number. Show that of all line segments drawn from a given point not on it, the perpendicular line segment is the shortest. For this we will have to draw one figure. I draw it for you. Okay. See, this is the figure which is drawn for you, right? We have to show that all these line segments, this, drawn from given point from this point, and you have to prove that the perpendicular line segment is the shortest and these all are greater than AB. We have to prove this. So how will we start? We will start with whatever information is given. Given that FB is a line and A is a point outside of FB, right? Now we have to prove that AB is the smallest line segment. Okay. Now in triangle ABC, angle B is how much? 90 degrees. It is a right angle. So therefore you can say that BAC angle is less than 90 degrees and angle ACB is also less than 90 degrees, right? How we can say this? Because angle BAC plus angle ACB equal to 90 degrees, right? This BAC plus ACB, it will be equal to 90 degrees. So hence in triangle ABC, angle B is greater than angle ACB. How we can say this? Because angle B is equal to 90 degrees and angle ACB is less than 90 degrees, right? So now AC is greater than AB. It is proved. How we can prove this? Because in a triangle, greater angle has longer side opposite to it. Okay. Similarly, you can say that AD is greater than AB and AE is greater than AB and AF is also greater than AB. So hence it is proved that AB is the smallest line segment. Okay, with this we have completed this chapter number 7.